12 months ago, we did our first video.
It's 18.
18 months, that's a year and a half.
First 6 months didn't count. Any regrets?
The office.
Yeah, we chose the office badly, didn't we?
We certainly did, and that's my bad there. It's just, I felt that I had to go and get it, just wanted to get it done, and picked a great office, but the elevators are terrible.
Yeah. The office is nice once you get into our office, but just the approach, the elevators are horrible. But look, we're going to be out of there in
4 to 6 weeks, I think it'll be.
exactly 4, 6. I was going to say 8 weeks, but yeah, we're going to be out of that office, and it served a purpose nicely.
It has, definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the office.
Yeah.
I love the fact that our boardroom has a sofa,
Yeah.
not a board table.
Yeah.
It speaks about us as characters.
Yeah, it's very casual. It's a bit like our settings for these videos, isn't it?
Very much.
First video was in my living room.
Yeah, that's exactly where we were.
We're now in a vintage car room. It's like a rubbish version of Top Gear, isn't it?
Are we older than these cars? I wonder.
Mart's older than
Yeah,
Mart's
all right,
older than
guys.
these cars.
It's all right.
I could have had a shave for this morning. I look a bit of a mess.
Yeah, right, Chewy.
You could have you could have done your hair.
Yes.
I think I'm looking sharp.
You look all right.
Yeah.
It's us two that are letting the side down. Yeah.
But since you put us in the office, Mart, it's your job to get us out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Get us into that nice new office.
Well,
Proudest
For New Year.
moment, lads. Proudest moment of the last 12, and worst moment of the last 12 months.
proudest moment for me has to be actually having my name on that trade license
Yeah.
and actually seeing it in black and white, knowing it's happening.
And knowing it's yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So what about you, Miles? What's the difference for you with our model, the hybrid model that we have, against a high street model that you were used to before?
Wow, that's a big question. The fundamentals are the same. You know, help brokers, train brokers, guide brokers, motivate brokers, occasionally discipline brokers. So the fundamentals are still there, but just in a very, very, very different way. You know, it's so refreshing. Other ventures that I was involved with before was a typical high street agency. We were bringing brokers from the UK, 10 people at a time, maybe 2 or 3 would make it, 6 or 7 would fail. Where with this model, we might only bring 1 or 2 people per month, but we're only bringing experienced, solid brokers in.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's actually really refreshing because when you
isn't
walk into our sales team, when you walk into our floor, you know, we don't have 21, 22-year-old junior brokers. We have sharp, intelligent, mature brokers who are all experienced.
Exactly. What about you? How do you find it with having 2 extra partners rather than just 1 partner previously?
Double the headache? No. There's no regret. There's never regrets. I enjoy it actually because I think in any business, it's nothing to do with Phoenix Homes, but I think in any business model, when you've got 2 business partners and you feel passionately about something, you have the ability to clash. Something I've noticed with us 3 is that...
Clash all the time.
No. You know, if we disagree on something, it's put to bed very quickly because we have a vote.
Exactly.
You know,
Easy.
you two might agree on something. I might have a different opinion, which is very natural. Majority rules.
You had the luxury of running a high street agency. We didn't, but we can obviously see how the
Well, you both worked for a high street agency.
Yeah, and I can see the differences massively in terms of the listings. You know, when I worked for you and Paros, but you know, I had KPIs, 10 listings a week, you know, 20 viewings a week.
Yeah.
Our brokers don't have to do that. And when they only have, like, we would rather see 1, 2, 3, if you can get it, exclusive properties a week. That's all you really need to do in this model, you know, in this.
Quality, not quantity.
Absolutely. That's what counts.
It is. I think those days, you know, the world has changed, the market has changed. You know, even the way that we run the company, you do not need to come in every morning at 9 o'clock if you don't want to. If you want to, great, come in. If you want to come in at 10, come in at 10. If you want to come in at 12, come in at 12. But you're going to be judged a lot more on your results rather than the hours that you work in the office.
Exactly. I mean, let's face it, good brokers have dinner with their clients in the evening.
Yeah.
They might be not finishing with their clients until 11 o'clock at night. They don't want to be in the office at 9 o'clock. They've worked all day already.
Yeah.
So brokers are not making money if they're stuck in the office,
Yeah.
having to report in a diary.
Those days, it seems like a lifetime ago, you know. Those days are a distant memory. But I feel sorry for brokers that are coming into Dubai now and working in the high street models. I think the high street model is fantastic if you're a junior broker.
Yes.
I actually think it's more suited than our model if you're a junior broker. But once you've been in the industry for 6 months, 12 months, you know, why are you letting your company keep 50% of your money?
Utter madness.
It's a rip-off. Brokers in Dubai are getting ripped off when they're allowing their companies to keep 40-50% of their money. What for? Because they're providing the leads.
But they're paying for the leads by taking less commission.
That's it. That's
Exactly.
it.
It's a really good feeling to see brokers get the 80%. You know, it's the right slice of the pie they deserve for being a quality broker, doing the job, as you said, 6-7 months, but most of our brokers are doing the job 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
Years, yeah, exactly.
So if you're doing it that long, 80% is a must.
Yeah.
You know, when you pay for your advertising, you're very selective.
Yeah.
You know, you don't put up an overpriced unit. You don't put up a unit that has maybe a seller that is not in a rush or you know, talk to me in 3 months. They put up quality listings because they're paying for it.
You take pride, if you're paying for your listing yourself, you take pride over it, don't you?
I would rather see our company with 200 listings and obviously quality and exclusivities rather than 1,000 of fake listings, leaving them up like we know some agencies do, leave listings up for 6-7 months. Yeah. I mean, if the listing's online for 6 months, sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm finding it easier as well. I mean, look, the three of us occasionally broker as well, but my pitch to sellers, I actually find it a lot easier now because I tell sellers, and I know our team does as well, you know, I tell sellers, we pay for our own marketing. We've got our skin in the game. We're investing. We're not just another high street agency which want to throw it on Property Finder and Beirut and Debizzle and cross our fingers. We've got our skin in the game. Yes, we take a much bigger slice of the pie. We take 80% of the commission, but we have to pay for our marketing. And I think when sellers hear that, they're more inclined to work with us because they're dealing with a higher caliber of broker.
And they can see that we're investing in them.
Yeah, 100%. We're not just trying to list their properties to hit a KPI. You know, we're only going to list that property if we genuinely believe that we're going to sell it. If we don't think we're going to sell it, we don't want to list it.
No. Absolutely pointless.
Perhaps a bit of an aggressive thing to say, but it's true, isn't it?
Well, the thing is when I worked for you, I had KPIs.
I don't know how you did that for so long.
I really don't know either for so long.
You did
And
bravery medal.
All I was doing was paying for the Christmas party out of my commission ultimately. But when I look at half of the listings I had were just to satisfy my KPIs.
Yeah.
To show that I had a certain amount of listings per week, certain amount of viewings per week.
Yeah.
Well, all that mattered really was what was hitting my bank account.
Which I think if you were a junior broker is fine.
Yes.
And that's why I look at some of these youngsters coming into the market now, and I think they're better suited off in those high street agencies. But for using you as a prime example, you're in your 70s, 80s.
I was born in the 70s.
Sorry, Mark, sorry. You know, you've been in the industry over
just over 30 years.
30 years. I don't know, you know, when you worked for me in previous ventures, I don't know how you put up with it for so long, to be honest.
I really don't know either. And then, then I put up with you again now.
Yeah, but it's a bit different now, you know. Just agents, brokers who have been in the market for 2, 3, 4 years, being told what time to come in the morning, being told what to wear. It's so 1970s now. It's backwards.
Yeah.
I don't know why brokers put up with it, and that's why we're becoming more popular.
I induct all the brokers obviously when they join us. But I use the phrase all the time: unplug from the matrix. It's like it's so relevant. Because they come in, even though they're changing from the high street to us, for the first few weeks, they still feel like they need to go at 100 miles an hour and put all these listings up. You know, we teach them, relax.
Yeah.
Do the job a bit more self-sufficiently and you'll be fine. You know, you're judged by the end result, which is the commissions you put on the board, not by the start, which is the listings that you put up.
I think the key thing is happy brokers are billing brokers.
Yeah.
And that's really, really important because I myself, when I was a broker, I was very, very happy when I was left alone to do my thing. I managed my own diary. I managed my own clients. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need somebody breathing down my neck in terms of the KPIs or where are you and what time do you call this and all that kind of stuff. So that's very, very important for our model. But
Yeah.
equally, what I love is when the brokers come into the office in the mornings when we're there, so that we can give them the support, the love, the assistance if they require it, and actually give back what I've learned in my career and pass it on.
You're enjoying that, aren't you?
Yeah, I am,
You're,
very much.
you're enjoying doing that. I mean, I remember working with you in the previous company, and junior brokers would gravitate towards you for your experience. And I think you enjoyed it for a couple of minutes, but you also wanted to tell them to bugger off because they were eating into your day.
Sorry, Mart.
Sorry,
That was me.
I was slow to catch on then. But yeah, I mean, you know, it was nice for a moment, and then eventually you were like, go away, let me focus on my day. Now, I mean, I see you leaving your transactions, leaving your deals, and really giving that support and that love to brokers who need it.
Exactly, and the thing is when you've done the job for as long as I have, I don't feel that I should be keeping all of that experience within, because I want to put my stamp on the world and actually pass that experience on and what I've learned on to the next set of people coming in.
Sending the elevator back down for the juniors to come up.
Yes.
It's nice.
Exactly.
So it's nice that you think you've gravitated to management so nicely. You know, you've become such a supportive mentor in the office.
And the thing is, as well, as we've got such an eclectic mix of personalities in the office as well. That's what I love about the fact that it's not the high street model where every broker's from one country.
Yeah.
We have people from all walks of life, all over the world. We have mothers with children. We have guys who've been working for a corporate agency who just want to not be told what to do. But we've got a perfect blend of personalities, and everyone's really supportive of each other.
We're quite picky on who we hire.
Yes.
You know, both obviously professionally and personality-wise as well.
But not from nationalities.
Not at all.
That's quite refreshing.
Not at
You
all.
know,
We have lovely picks.
Yeah,
really good
that's
mix.
something I struggled with because, you know, previously it was, you know, everyone was recruited from the same country, the same background. I'm really enjoying now working with, you know, we've got 3 Russians, we've got 3 Indian brokers, we've got 100 Irish.
Too many
brokers.
Irish.
You know, but there's such a nice mix, and I'm learning as I go. I'm learning from these brokers, which I never had exposure to before. And also something that I'm picking up is the kind of buyers and sellers that we're now working with. It really has opened my eyes that there is more than just employing one stereotype of brokers. I mean, you look at some of the buyers that Radica has brought in, who we never had exposure to them before.
Exactly.
You look at some of the Russian sellers that Phoenix has now got exclusivity for, because our Russian brokers have brought them in. If you're working for one of the high street agencies, you don't get that kind of exposure. Yeah.
Brokers trust each other a lot in our model as well, because when they refer somebody over, because you can obviously you don't have to switch areas, you can do rentals and you can do sales. So if you do pass over a referral,
work on it yourself.
Yeah, obviously you can work on it, but if you pass it over, you know it's going to be a good lead, because if you get a lead from Radica, if you get a lead from the other fantastic brokers that we have, you know it's a quality lead and you're going to service it.
Yeah.
You know?
I always find it funny. Sorry, Mark, to interrupt. I find it funny when people talk about areas, because I think that those days are so. I think those days are so behind us that you must be limited to one area. You know, if I was a broker now being told I must only work in that area, I would leave. I would be gone, because we are in a market where you're only as good as your listings. If I pick up a listing and I have to pass it over to my colleague, who's probably going to mess it up because they've got, no way. I want to be in control of my earnings. If I want to list it, I want to list it, and that's something. I actually think that's probably more important for brokers now, even more so than our 80% commission offering. The fact that you can list whatever you want to list. You don't have to pass it over to your teammate. I think that is absolutely vital.
Look, let's face it, if you have a client that's been on your books for 5-6 years and he's going to give you an exclusive, let's say, Sharjah, you're going to list it, aren't you?
If you want to list it, you can. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think you hit the nail on the head as well about the trust, because too many brokers I speak to can't trust their own colleagues in the company. With us, we know that everybody can trust every single person in the office. You can pass a lead, that person can be passed over without a worry in the world. You know that person's going to get cared for and looked after. And the other thing for me as well is the fact that people can do leasing and sales. That client's with them for life. Because most people are going to come to them in the beginning looking for a lease.
Yeah.
Because they may be fresh to Dubai. They may be not sure about buying. So they'll come and build that relationship with the broker, renting a property from them, and then come back to them in the future saying, I would like to buy.
Yep.
And they haven't got to set fire to that relationship by passing them over to a colleague who's not going to look after them in the same way.
When you look back at your career, can you believe that you worked in that model for so long, where you would work so hard for a listing, and the boss would force you to pass it over to your colleague?
And then you don't know if that's ever going to get closed or
I
that
look back
person's going to get assisted.
on it and I just think it's so backward.
The key thing as well for me though is all of the brokers that we have still focus on a core area.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Nobody should be a butterfly where they're being in the Burj Khalifa 1 minute and green community the next.
Yeah.
They should still focus on their experience, knowing their built-up areas, knowing the community facilities. That's very, very important for buyers and tenants alike. But at the same time, they can still look after those clients. Say, for example, you're speaking to somebody in Emirates Hills who's also owning a penthouse on the Palm. You should be able to keep that relationship with that
100%.
client.
Yeah, I mean, I think when brokers start hiding listings because they're too frightened to pass it over to their colleague, that is a recipe for disaster. It's also a recipe for people doing deals behind closed doors. Because they're too scared that, imagine if you work on a 50-50 model, for example, and you work your backside off to get a listing, and then you're forced to hand it over to your colleague where you might get 20%, 25% of the 50%.
If it closes.
How backwards? How backwards? You look at that as overarching from the 100%. You might be taking 15, 20%, where you should be taking 80% of that money. Just for, list the property, get the buyers to call you directly, and get the deal done. Being forced to give it to your colleague, having a listing ripped away from you to give to your teammate, no way.
Yeah.
No,
Those
absolutely.
days are gone.
And it's also very good. We obviously encourage the trust on the floor, but the reason there's trust on the floor is because we actually give the trust to the brokers as well.
Yep.
They get the leads directly to their own phone.
Yes.
There's no middleman managing it, doesn't go to reception and then filter through. It comes straight to them and it goes onto this. They put on the CRM, they manage it, they do a deal, they take 80%. It is that simple, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the agencies in Dubai now that, as a buyer myself, I do not want to call up and speak to a call center or a receptionist at all, ever. I want to call up and speak to the actual listing broker who's been to the property, who knows the property, who's got a relationship with the seller, and have a proper conversation. Being farmed out to a reception who then dishes the lead out to somebody else. No thanks.
And not only that, but a buyer is not going to have the patience to wait for that broker to call them back.
Yeah,
They're just going to call the next broker.
Absolutely. If I was buying, I wouldn't wait.
For example, when we were looking for the new office,
Yes.
we reached out to a high street agency. We got a call back within 2 days.
Do you remember that?
2 days.
Yeah.
You want to speak to the person who can make a decision, who can show you that property, who can book you in their diary.
If you look at our listing process, it is, if we employ Dave the broker, used to be Bob the broker, it's now Dave. If we employ him or her, and they put their own telephone number on the listing, it's really, really, really simple. If it's a good listing, your phone will ring. The leads will come directly to you as a broker. If your phone's not ringing, it's probably because the property's either overpriced or just not in a sought-after area. But you are completely in control of your destiny. You're not reliant on your manager passing you the lead or the receptionist passing you the lead.
Absolutely.
You're in control of your destiny, which I think is vital. So if it goes well, you can give yourself a pat on the back. But if it goes wrong, you've only got yourself to blame. It's much more transparent.
It is. But they also have to be self-motivated, don't they? I mean, so many brokers out there will have the need for KPIs. They'll have the need to come to an office. So we're not for everybody.
Yeah.
And we need people to be happy, to self-motivate, to actually build their day, to manage their day, to know what they're doing.
We've heard a few brokers that have ambitions to be business owners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a very good stepping stone in that direction.
Yeah.
Because you have to manage your listings. Obviously, we'll manage the office and we'll keep that rotating and we'll grow the franchise, but they have to come in and manage their listings, look after the listings. If the listings are getting a lot of calls, a lot of inquiries, and they have exclusivity, why shouldn't they get 8%? You know, then they're going to have those 100,000, 200,000 figures every single month. You know, it's a big learning curve when you join our model.
The negative of that, I think, is that all brokers say they want to join us because they've got that flexibility and a bigger commission. But all brokers say, I'm self-motivated. In fact, I think human nature, you want to inflate your own ego and say, I'm self-motivated. But in reality, not everybody is.
No.
They like to say they are. Some people actually perform better with somebody breathing down their neck and telling them you've got to be in. Those people are probably not suited to Phoenix.
Agreed.
Because we're not going to call you up and ask you, where are you in the morning? We're not going to force you to list in one area. So with our model, you have to genuinely be self-motivated.
But we have people that recognize they can't work in that way, so they come to the office.
Yeah.
And they have the support.
I admire those people.
Yeah.
I admire those
I can't work
brokers.
from home.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Yeah, a lot of brokers say, I work better from home. No.
Not for me.
Yeah, exactly. Distractions, the wife's at home, the kids are at home, the dog's at home, you end up watching television, cooking yourself some breakfast. I think working from home is a recipe for disaster. But at the same time, I don't want to be told that I must turn up on this at a certain time. You hit the nail on the head earlier. You might have been out with a client for dinner the night before, having a bottle of wine and getting to bed at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Why do I need to get in? Why do I need to be rushing around like a madman to get in for 8:30?
Exactly. To just come in and do admin that you can do in a coffee shop.
Absolutely. You might want to take it out. If you didn't see your kids yesterday, our model is great for people with children, I think.
Yes, it is. We've all got children.
Yeah. We're quite boring when you think about it.
Yeah.
Three married blokes, all got kids, all a little bit over the hill.
Some more than others, yeah. I can see the raised eyebrows there. One step ahead of you there.
But the model works nicely. If you've got children and if you want a little bit of flexibility, what's wrong with taking the kids to school and doing that drop-off at 9 o'clock, 9:15, and then cruising into our office at 10 o'clock, especially if you're working till 8, 9 p.m. at night?
Exactly, or having the flexibility to your son's Christmas play or a sports day, to not feel that you have to ask permission.
You're not missing those golden moments, are you?
Absolutely.
I'm learning that now as a father. Our model gives that flexibility. Again, I feel genuinely sorry for the brokers that have to rush in for an 8:30 meeting to talk about nothing.
Well, again, on the meetings as well, I think it's vital that there is a meeting once a week.
Yeah, the Monday meeting.
The Monday meeting that we have. But again, it's our personalities. We started at 9:30, not 8:30.
Yeah.
It's to give people that flexibility in the morning, wake up, come in refreshed, ready.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell and speak about what we want to. And then the brokers have their input as well with each other, which is great.
It's a lot more interactive. I love obviously the Monday meeting is a meeting, it's a business meeting. But I also love the Friday coffee.
Yeah, my favorite time of the week.
Yeah, that's your little baby.
You
typically run those with some of the guys.
We used to have really strict agendas at the start.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of just branched off to a bit of a free-flowing conversation.
It's nice.
Brokers come in, we have a little bit of an agenda, of course, but then it goes off after 30 minutes of a meeting, then it goes off into just struggles over the course of the week.
Yeah.
Positives over the course of the week, deals that we've done. Imagine if you have something you're struggling with a deal that you can't seem to close, and all of a sudden you have 12 super agents in the same room giving you advice.
Yeah.
Like, that is quality time every single Friday.
It is very much, and we can all learn from each other. Doesn't matter how long you've done the job, even since when God was a boy when I started. The fact that
You went to school on a dinosaur, didn't you?
I did, just like the Flintstones. So the point to it is we can all learn from each other.
It's nice that brokers are approaching us now rather than having the need for constant headhunting and going out and chasing other brokers.
That's the main change that I've seen recently.
Yeah.
Is now that everybody knows about Phoenix Homes.
Yeah.
We're a name on people's lips.
Yeah. And we're still a young company.
We are still a young company, but now we have brokers can see, right, it is working. If you remember back in the day, we had, when we first opened, when we first opened, we had the managing director of one of the high street agencies actually go on and put a video online saying our model was not going to work. Do you remember that?
Yeah, a little bit of egg on his face right now, isn't
Oh, just a bit.
But it has worked. You know, there was a lot of people saying 80% won't work. And let's be honest, we get left with the scraps. We only get 20% of the pie, but our fixed costs are so much lower. We don't have the flash. Our model doesn't work if you've got a really flash office and if you're having Christmas parties at the Atlantis, Burj Al Arab, Jumeirah Beach, you know. But at the end of the day, those things don't make you money. They're nice, but they do not make you money.
Well, the brokers are paying for those events anyway.
Exactly.
By taking a
From
lower
reduced
slice of the commission.
Exactly. And I think that, you know, we stuck to our guns. We don't have a flash office. We don't have a, you know, our Christmas party. Our Christmas party last year, a couple of bottles of wine and some mince pies. Super basic.
Yeah.
You know.
Really good night, though.
It was a great night.
Yeah.
With family, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
With the other brokers, they...
Mature brokers, intelligent brokers,
Absolutely.
experienced brokers.
Yes.
Not a load of junior youngsters who wish to become brokers. You know, our team are heavyweights. They know what they're doing. And do you know, it's really good to be around those kind of people.
Yeah.
As a new company owner, has the journey been what you thought it would be?
It's been seriously rewarding, I must say. Because I induct the brokers and I spend that time with them at the beginning, it's very, very rewarding to see them come in for interviews, learn about our model, learn about us, because we spend a lot of time with the brokers before we sign them up, because we want to make sure that we're the same personality-wise and they obviously can do the job. But just seeing them go from that model to our model and succeed and get 80% is phenomenal.
It's rewarding.
And I still can't understand why some brokers stay where they are. I mean, I won't name names, but there is one broker that I think she'd done almost 2 million dirhams in commission in 1 month, and she got a Rolex worth 30 grand. She was on 55%. I can't do the maths, but would you rather a Rolex or would you rather an extra 25% commission on 2 million?
Gimmicks. When I see these people, and look, I'm the biggest culprit because it was me that did all those things. Let's spin a wheel in a Monday morning meeting and give out an iPad, or you know, it's designed for junior brokers. You know, here's an iPad, here's an iWatch, here's a night away at a hotel. I don't want that.
Give me 30% more, and I'll
give me a 30% bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to be able to pay for it myself rather than,
I think though
all of those things, the flash Christmas parties, the giving away suits, all of those, they're gimmicks.
It strokes brokers' egos. That's all it does.
Yeah. But if you're a broker that needs your ego stroked, you're probably not right for Phoenix Homes.
Exactly.
You're better off staying with those junior high street agencies. You touched on it earlier, which was really interesting, about the kind of brokers that you surround yourself by. I am a believer that if you surround yourself by junior brokers, you're not growing. If you surround yourself by senior, smart, intelligent brokers, you grow.
That was evident when we all worked in our last company.
Yes.
You know, you were obviously the most experienced, most successful broker there. So anyone wanted to learn, including myself, we all gravitated towards you. And the junior brokers kind of stayed in a little pod, and they weren't, you know, they never advanced through their career. So, yeah, massive, yeah.
Also, I think that if you surround yourselves with brokers who are billing lower numbers, it's natural human reaction to use that as a barometer.
Yeah, you think that's acceptable?
If you can see other brokers billing 250, 300, 400k per month, you're looking at it going, I want a piece of that.
Yeah, I've always put it into the analogy of sports, which is that, you know, if you play on a team which is full of rubbish players, you're going to stay as a rubbish player.
Yes.
If you jump onto a team of really, really good athletes, you're going to up your game.
Very much.
You're going to become better.
You kind of manage the pipeline and you drive revenue a lot in the business. What qualities do our top brokers have? Are they similar? Are they a bit different?
I would say there are a lot of similarities. Relationship building is the key thing that I find from the majority of the top brokers. They've got long long-term clients.
Yeah.
They easily manage to keep relationships, build relationships.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to pick up the phone to build new relationships. They will be out there in the field hustling.
Not sitting in our office making 50 cold calls a day.
Or just sitting in the office typing on a laptop and looking busy, and not actually picking up the phone at all.
You said it nice. If you're in the office, you're not making money.
No, you're not. You're really not. You're only earning money if you're out in the field.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're sitting in a coffee shop with your diary open and people can think that you're a real estate agent and coming up to you going, can you help me? I'm looking for an apartment in this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, they work very similarly, but our top agent is actually in the office quite a lot. But our number 2 agent, we don't see at all.
Is never in the office. She literally turns up for the Monday morning meeting and then we
Yes.
don't see her for the whole week.
Exactly.
She comes in for the next Monday, comes in with a deal, boom.
And I'm
moves on
happy
to
with
the-
that because
Yeah.
I know she's not sitting at home watching daytime TV.
Yeah.
She's out in the field.
But if she wants to do that, at least we
she
give
can-
her the ability.
If
She's
she
coming
can
in
do
doing
200
half.
grand by watching TV, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's also true.
Yeah, I mean she is. Last month 300, the month before that 4, this month 200. She's averaging 250 grand a month. She's an excellent broker. Why would we tell her you must come in every day? It's so unnecessary.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
This time next year, obviously, you spoke about headcount. I'm going to give my 2 pence on that. I'm not necessarily looking at it as headcount. I'm looking at it from a PR point of view. I want there to be a queue of brokers waiting to join the company. And I want to be getting to a situation where we are saying no to more brokers than we're saying yes to. And we're starting to get there now. We're starting to kind of go over the top of the hill, which is really, really, really nice. Last week we interviewed a couple of brokers who are doing 15,000, 20,000 dirhams per month. Desperate to come and join Phoenix Homes, and I said, no, stay where you are. You're better off working at the high street agencies.
Exactly, they are, because they are naturally chasing the larger slice of the pie because they're not earning enough money.
Yeah.
But they're not the people for us. The people for us are the ones that are happy with what they're earning, but recognise that they can earn so much more by doing the same job, the same hours.
It's the same job.
Exactly.
I heard you interviewing somebody the other day, Paddy, and I think you said it really nicely when you said that whether you work for company A or company B or us, the job is the same. You still got to fight for listings. You still got to conduct a viewing. You still got to negotiate a deal. Now, with us, the negative is yes, you have to pay for your own listings. So you might have to spend 1,000 dirhams or 1,500 dirhams.
Isn't that fair trade?
In order to get an
brokers.
extra 30%.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But the actual job itself is the same. The job itself is the same. So our model works if you're good. If you are a 10K a month broker, stay at the high street agents. You're better off staying there.
Absolutely. And I think, Paddy, you manage the advertising. And I think a lot of brokers are given false information in their current companies as to how much the advertising actually costs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've recognised, being a broker myself,
Yeah.
that it's not actually costing that much money. By the time you have your exclusives, you have 15 to 20 good properties advertised at any one time, not 30 that are ghost listings or sold 6
Bait.
months ago. The bait, exactly that. The advertising doesn't actually cost that much. Having, 2 dirhams per listing to go onto Property Finder?
Exactly. Nothing.
The features and the premiums are...
Couple of hundred dirhams.
Exactly. It's not big money.
A featured
200-300 dirhams. I mean, one broker said to me, I can't join you. I'm getting 30 listings where I am right now. Looked at the listings. Okay, they're all on Palm Jumeirah, one of the most expensive areas, but no features, no premiums. I think it was 600 dirhams for the month. I'm like, also 15 of them probably could have come down.
So their company is investing 600. I reverse it. The company is investing 600 dirhams a month on their marketing, 1,000 dirhams a month on their marketing, and for that they get to keep 50% of the commission. What a rip-off!
I ask brokers every now and then. I ask brokers when I interview them, how many leads are you getting from your company? I'm getting loads of leads. Where are the leads coming from? Property Finder, Bayou, the other portals. Yeah, but how have you got the listing? I got the listing in the first place. I put the listing online. I took the photographs. I wrote up the description. I set it live. And then you got a call. You actually generated that lead.
Yeah.
Just because the company paid 20 dirhams to put the listing online, they didn't generate it.
The broker did the hard work.
Yeah. Did your company actually give you a seller? If they are, then fine. That's a different type of lead. Did they give you a buyer from their own phone book?
Yeah.
No, they're not doing that. They're keeping it for themselves. And first of all, if they have those leads, they're going to the club, they call it, within the agencies.
Boys
the more
club,
important,
the top five,
exactly.
etc. I think the thing as well, though, is the fact that people will still get them with us because the three of us have been in Dubai real estate for over 30 years combined.
Yeah.
So we've got so many clients coming to us.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had somebody who looked me up on the Dubai Rest app. And because I'm one of the top brokers on the Dubai Rest app, they wanted to give me their listing. I immediately asked one of the brokers if they wanted it. They've listed it. The guy wants to sell as soon as possible,
Nice.
which is really, really important. The other thing as well is you touching upon companies giving leads. I speak to a lot of brokers that say, well, I deal with off-plan. You're going to give me leads. Well, we've got Mo, our marketing manager, in the office who can easily do those campaigns.
Yeah.
He will be readily available for video shoots, for photo shoots. That person's in-house.
Yeah.
That guy is ready and available the following day. They haven't got to wait 3 or 4 days or up to a week to have photos taken.
Yeah.
It's there readily available for them in the office.
Well, yes, it might cost 200-300 dirhams, but we will have a professional photographer and videographer out that same day.
Exactly.
That's huge, and people get nervous about it. I always it's the cost of a brunch. It's the cost of a couple of drinks at the weekend. If you're not willing to invest that in your career, stay with the high street agency. And that's the beauty of the people that we've got inside the team. They're not estate agents. They're businessmen and they're businesswomen.
Yes.
I love that. I love being around that higher caliber of broker.
Entrepreneurs.
They are. Yeah, you said it earlier. I think there'll be some of our current brokers who eventually end up setting up their own company, and that's great. We are that perfect in-between stage. If you're thinking of opening up your own agency, we are that perfect middle ground. The same as any company. You've got income, you've got expenditure, and the same as if you work at Phoenix. You've got expenditure. Okay, it might only be a couple of hundred dirhams for your marketing. You've got your income, which is your 80%, and it's offsetting. So it's a wonderful middle ground, I think, before you just go fully fledged to open up your own company.
In some ways, it's not a franchise, but it's like a franchise.
Yep.
Because you're building a career within a brand. So you've got your colleagues, you've got the brand awareness. You don't have the expenditure of your own office, your own trade license. A lot of that will get eaten up, and you probably end up with about 80% anyway. So
Yeah.
Quite a few of our brokers have said, actually, I'm not going to open up my own business now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I'm earning, where I am. I'm part of a team. I can grow.
Well, you think about the two people that are about to join us. They had an agency. They had an agency, and it was just a two-man band.
Yes.
And they had nobody to bounce off. They thought they were going to take 100% of the money, and it's like, sorry, no. You've still got to pay for your license. You've still got to have an office. You've still got to have support staff. You don't end up with 100%.
And also, it's 100% of nothing if you're not part of a team and
Yeah.
you're not getting referrals
Yeah.
from your colleagues.
Yeah, it's nice to be a part of something. Look, we're not a 100-man squad yet, but we still have a wonderful company culture. We have a wonderful team, and that's getting stronger, I think, as time goes by.
Very much.
We thought that 100% model would be something that we'd have to compete with, but actually we don't at all.
Not in the slightest.
It's not a
in
threat
the
at all.
Like if you think about it, if I'm paying you a fee, and I think there's 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 dirhams a month, are you going to help me do a deal?
No, you couldn't care less.
You couldn't care less because you're getting 100%, whether it's 1,000 dirhams or 2 million.
Yeah.
I don't need to help you because I've just collected my 5,000 or 6,000 dirhams from you. That's it.
You're not a real estate agency then, you're a marketing agency.
Yes.
With us, we're invested. Obviously, you do cover your marketing, but we're still invested with you. We want to see you succeed. If we get enough brokers on site, 50 to 100 brokers, that 20% obviously is a lot more healthier. But yeah, we're here. We're on the ground. We're brokers as well, but we're here to help the company grow. And how does the company grow? Through the brokers. So
Through the people.
exactly.
No, 100%.